It's been rainy, it's been cold, it's been wet, and it's wonderful because it means we get to stay inside and play Lastomania. This week's event was made by Ramon again, and I must say it was a really fun level to play. And again, there was some style we must have missed because again, the top 5 has some crazy times that I have no idea how they're doable. The basic idea of the level is you start up here and basically just drop down into this playing area where you have 3 apples kind of centered in the middle, but hard to reach from different places, and the flower up here. Now going down to a more scaled down version, we have the playing area here. You see you drop from here with start, but since this is basically just a drop, we don't need to really focus on it. So we're going to be looking down here for the playable area. Now, right off the bat, I could see a few different styles, but everything is pretty hard to actually do in this level because of the layout inside this kind of cluster of polygons. Now, a very easy style, for instance, could be once you come down here from the drop, you kind of have this rightwards momentum. You continue going right, and then you just come in here, clear these middle apples first, and then somehow maybe come down here, up, grab this apple, and then come back here. Either you go around and take the flower, or maybe it's faster to turn here, come back up for the flower. So that could be one idea, clearing these 2 top apples first, taking this last, and then grabbing the flower. Another thing that could be possible is if you go even more right, you come down all the way around, you take this apple, and then with maybe some kind of bounce here or so, you come in here, jump up here. Now, jumping straight up to this apple, I believe is impossible, but we never know. But the idea could be that you come off this wall, maybe go here, gather some speed, come back again, take this apple, take this one, drop down here, take the flower. Now, it's a lot of these like convoluted lines going back and forth, but this level is hard. I mean, somewhere I guess you're gonna have to be driving multiple times in order to like build speed or something like that. Now, another idea could be instead of going right, you go left first. So for instance, you can drop down here, take this apple, maybe push a little bit out like you push from this corner here, come around all this way, and then you enter the middle part from the right. You take this apple, and then you come back to the flower. This has less of these convoluted lines, but instead you're going all the way around, so I mean, you might be losing some time, who knows. Another idea could be to start left the same, but instead you keep a little bit more speed here. You do a bounce from this wall, take this apple, come inside here, up, and again, reaching this apple immediately, very hard. So maybe coming back here, getting some speed back, taking these. Now that I look at it, it looks really awful, but actually this was the style that me and Elrond went with because it was at least what we could pull off the best times with. But other than that, I can't really think of anything else that would really work. Because this apple, it's too far to reach it. Like even if you do like a back wheel hang here, your front wheel is not going to stretch more than maybe here. So you're never going to reach this while staying up here. So somehow you're going to have to drop below this line, and then you have to like build up speed coming in here, or you have to go around everything. It's a really tricky level to figure out. But once you have a style, it's really fun to play. But again, obviously me and Elrond missed something. So we're going to find out what that was. Now, normally as we reach the end of a cut, we usually see a decline in players. So it was really fun to see that this event actually had almost 50 players again, getting up to those player numbers that we had in the first few events. I think that's maybe the power of a Ramon level, but regardless of the reason, it's really fun to see. And I will say that me and Elrond played this level quite a bit, and I felt that we got a pretty good time, but I still also had this sinking feeling that we were missing something. So I estimated like we have a good time, but probably gonna end up like 13th or something, right before a big gap of people finding some other style. And with the style we found, we managed a 19th place for Elrond, and a 12th place for me, just ahead of that 13th place I envisioned. Now, I never really know where to start looking at replays, so I start with the best one out of me and Elrond, because that's a possibility to show that style in case nobody else did it. But this time, Elrond actually mentioned to me also that Blastic and TM had completely different styles. So they managed to squeeze in between Elrond and me with different styles. And as you can see, the times here are really tight. I'm with a 46.99. And if you go from 12th place to 22nd place, so 10 placements down, you're at a 48.69. So not even 2 seconds between 10 placements here. So we'll start by checking out TM style, Blastic style, and then my style. But then ahead of that, there could be completely different styles, or actually there will be completely different styles. So let's take a look at TM, let's take a look at Blastic, then me, and then we keep going one by one, seeing what the hell is going to happen. Okay, TM starting here. You see the okay. Already completely different from what we did. Okay, let's see. Oh, he goes for the middle first. And let's see, he grabs his apple. So he's going to take the 2 top apples here first, and then probably going out in the bottom, taking that last apple. Oh, beautiful bounce. Comes up on this hang. Really annoying dealing with those bumps there as well. And let's see, gonna drop down for this apple. Will he then go around or will he turn at the bottom right? He stays inside? What the fuck? Something I'd never considered you could do. Let's see, and then he will jump up here, come back up here to this like middle platform, and then just full speed to the flower. Really creative style. I had not considered that. Really fun to see. Well done, TM. So that style gave TM a 47.63. Now let's jump straight into Blastic's replay as well, since we're here. And Blastic ended up with a 47.33, so just a 0.3 difference between these two replays. Now let's see. Blastic starting. Okay, different kind of drop from us as well. Not the TM drop, not our drop. Really exciting. Okay, he jumps probably straight into the middle here as well, yes. And let's see, gonna stop here, grabs the hang, just like TM so far. Maybe he will go around or something like that. Maybe that's a different part of his style. Okay, it doesn't do... he doesn't go for the hang. Really beautiful stick there, getting up on this platform. I didn't think you could do that either. Wow. And not choosing to go back inside. Let's see, comes around here. Will he go all the way around? Probably, right? That should be faster. Looks like it. Oh, and a bounce. Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a really beautiful replay. And then just grabs the flower. Very nice, very nice. Really impressive stuff. Again, I thought like our style was probably the fastest, but here Blastic and TM comes within a second with completely different styles. Now let's quickly address the elephant in the room. I said last event that Blastic was not gonna play, and that was his intention, but then he managed while traveling just to find some time on Saturday to play, so this was a time that he drove fairly quickly. But another thing is, you see, he's no longer in CMR either. I think he just left for his trip, but there has also been some kind of silly season, if you will, with the teams. And one of the major parts of that was that Team CMR half disbanded, maybe. Now, CMR, as I get it, is basically an open team for everyone to join. And that means that they have several members that are maybe not as active, but they have some really active players. But as you might recall, I think Slaw used to be here, Blastic used to be here, Barry P used to be here. You don't see them in this list anymore. But at the same time, umiz joined CMR. So there's been a lot of shifts in teams and members. I haven't really wrapped my head around exactly what happened with each team. Blastic, I think, just left because he was going on his trip, so he didn't want to be there. I think some of the players went to 420, for instance, Barry P. I don't remember if Harald, I think, was there. Zero and Raven were probably there. We don't see Ramon here, but he should have been as well. At least he was before. Him and Zero were always doing the same style. Some players left to SPEF. For instance, Slaw, I think, was in CMR before. He went to SPEF. And I think Bjenn was in SPEF before. He went back to EF, which was where SPEF was a hybrid of EF and Speed. So just remember that teams have shifted. Team members have moved. So someone you might have seen doing the same style as another player because they were in the same team before might not be doing the same style at all this event. But for now, let's get back to the replays and see what went down in event 113. Now, as I mentioned, we would also watch my replay. I got 12th place with a 46.99. So let's get that out of the way and then we work our way up to top 11. Now here's the only style that I actually know. Let's see, we did this kind of drop, dropping straight down because we were not going right first, we were going left first. Again, this is the bounce style that I showed in the editor. Let's see, we drop down here, get the bounce, get 2 quick autos here so you can get a good push, build a lot of speed going towards the right. Now again, we didn't manage to jump straight up to the right. I did some kind of wheel pressure here, didn't dare to go for a bounce. Coming back here just to gather some speed and just working our way up the level. So coming back here, jumping for this top right apple. And you can't really push too much because you can't catch this hang then. But going down here, grabbing the hang, doing some kind of stopping here, dropping down, trying to save as much speed as possible so you can jump up and grab the flower at 46.99. So as you can tell, completely different style from what we saw from Barry P and TM, starting left instead of starting right. And as always, we're going to be cutting several seconds off of these times. So there has to be some different styles, some different tricks coming up. But until then, in 11th place, Audi. Somehow I expect Audi to be higher up, but I guess in this kind of level where the styles are really different, you never know. But let's check out Audi's 46.59. Let's see, Audi starting here. He's doing the same kind of drop that we did. Pushing. Does that mean he will go left first? Looks like it. Is he gonna go for the bounce as well, or does he have another style? Looks like it's the bounce. Yep, going here. Does not do the quick autos to build speed here. So I think maybe it's a little bit slower, but he did do a fast start and drop as well. Let's see, jumping up here, coming around. Now it's just going all the way left to build speed. This feels like a real waste of time, but at the same time, it's hard to find better styles in this level. Jumping up here, grabbing this apple. Again, not pushing too far because you're going to get stuck on that hang. And then coming back here, yeah, it's identical style, just a little bit different in some places. Grabs the flower. Very nice replay by Audi, but nothing really that different. Let's see what happens when we enter the top 10. Slaw. Again, Slaw, not in CMR, he's in SPEF now. And he improves a little more than a tenth of a second on Audi's time. Let's see if he uses the same style. Slaw, starting here. Does this kind of drop? Does this drop always mean you're gonna go left first? I guess it does. Let's see, gets the push here as well. Okay, he does the slow drop here. I was experimenting with this as well, but then it's to drop down all the way. Yes, exactly. Does this mean he will go all the way around? Probably, and then drop down into the middle. I think I showed this style in the beginning as well, but me and Alron were not able to do this faster. Really beautiful wheel pressure there to jump straight down. Very nice, very nice. I don't think I ever managed that. Let's see, comes around here, just barely stays on that hang. Comes up here, let's see, goes for a bounce probably. Yes, beautiful bounce, beautiful. Comes up here. Now that I see it, this style looks really fast. Nice, 46. It's so funny to see a style that you tried, but you could never get close to the same time. But then you just see a few tricks, like the wheel pressure here at the bottom right, to be able to jump straight into here. I think I always touch this kind of part here. So just finding those small tricks that can make a style that is seemingly slower, even faster than your best style. Moving on. In 9th place, Ismo. Ismo with a 46.27, improving a little bit more on Slaw's time. Let's see his replay. Let's see Ismo. Also does a slow drop. So far that means he's gonna go left first. But from there we have no idea what he's gonna do anyway. Let's see, gets the push here. Does the slow drop as well. Is this gonna be the same style as Slaw? Probably, right? Gets this push out here so you can land on the wall, get some speed. Let's see, will he go for the wheel pressure or a high jump touching the roof as well? He goes for the high jump, touching the roof. So you can just guess. This is what I was trying as well, but I could never get it really well. Let's see, gets the hang here, gets the stick, comes up here, probably gonna go for the bounce as well. I mean, he has to save that time. Yeah, beautiful bounce. Coming down here, saving all that speed, grabbing the flower at 46.37? 27. Very nice, Ismo. In 8th place, Barry P. Now in 420, not in CMR, but comes in at a beautiful 46.06. Let's check out the replay. Barry P starting slow as well. Gonna go for the left-hand route. But will he do the slaw drop or will he do the bounce and going around? Looks like it's a slaw drop. I guess now it's the Ismo drop and now it's a Barry P drop. Let's see, coming out here, pushing for the wall. Gonna gather some speed down here. Let's see, will he go for the wheel pressure kind of bounce or will he do the high jump touching the roof? Looks like the high jump as well. So he can get a little bit of gas in the roof here just to barely get inside here. It's way harder than it looks. And let's see, comes down here, stays on the hang with the stick. Probably gonna go for the same kind of bounce. Beautiful bounce, gonna gather some speed, and coming here to get the flower. Very beautiful run, 46.06. Shows the potential in that style, but we're gonna be cutting several seconds off of this time as well, so let's see what happens in the future. In 7th place, Dorknoob, who is in CMR still. Now Dorknoob I think was one of the main players in finding styles in CMR. At least I know he's like save loading a lot, trying a lot of things. So really interesting to see Barry P left CMR and comes in behind Dorknoob now. Now I'm not saying anything, but Dorknoob comes in at a 55.95. Let's see if CMR use a different style from 420, but we know that Ismo also is in CMR, so probably it's gonna be the same style as Ismo and therefore pretty much the same style as Barry P. Let's see Dorknoob. Going slow as well. Gonna be left hand first. Most likely gonna be the drop style. If it is, I think we will fast forward a few parts maybe to not make the video too long, but let's see. Yeah, goes here for the drop. Gonna grab this apple. Gonna push out to this wall and just gather speed here. Let's see how he handles this wall. Is it a bounce? It's a high jump as well. Gonna barely touch the roof here to get some speed. And gonna drop straight down in here. Gonna go here. Okay, sorry. Of course, the second I try to fast forward is gonna mess up. Let's see, goes for a beautiful spin here. Maybe other people did, but it just looked very good. Let's see, comes here, goes for the bounce. Coming back here, and then just speeding up for the flower. Hard to keep your wheel there when you have too much rotation. But he comes in at a very nice 45.95, our first sub 46 time. In 6th place. 8 Ball. Now again, 8 Ball is just like kind of a recent addition to this cup. I haven't seen him a lot before, but he comes in at a 45.09. He's cutting almost a second off of Dorknoob's time. Really impressive stuff. Let's see the replay. 8 Ball starting here. It's the slow drop as well, so it's gonna be the left-hand style. But can he save 1 second doing the same style as the others? Let's find out. It is the slow drop as well. Gonna grab the apple, push out to the wall. Let's see, pushes out here, nothing fancy. I will just fast forward this bottom part. Let's see, goes for the high jump as well. Not the kind of wheel pressure that I think we saw Slav doing. Gets good gassing here, drops straight down. Gonna come around for this hang. Doesn't do the kind of spin that we just saw Dorknoob doing. Coming around here, getting the bounce, and then come back. Again, you have so much rotation here, so you have to get that front wheel down, but you're losing time gassing. So it's really tricky, but he manages and he comes in at a 45.09. Now entering the top 5. In 5th place we have Yarda. Have we seen Yarda in this cup before? I'm not sure actually. I don't believe I've seen his name, at least not this high up. So really fun to see him in a 5th place. Also teamless. I don't know if he's sharing any styles, but 45.02, beating 8 Ball by just a few hundredths of a second, but still a very impressive time considering the 50 players in this event. Let's check out the replay and see what happened. Yarda coming in here, does the slow drop as well. Seems to be the winning style maybe. But we're still gonna be cutting more seconds off of this. But let's see, does a slow drop here, gonna grab the apple, gonna push out to the wall most likely. I will just fast forward a little bit here because it's just gassing down here. Let's see what he does by this wall. He goes for the wheel pressure. Nice. This feels like it should save a little bit of time because you're going a shorter route basically. But you don't get the gas in the roof, so maybe it's equal. Let's see, comes around here, gonna go for the same kind of bounce. Beautiful. Maybe a lot of the key to this style is actually keeping your grip here and gassing all the way to this flower, because it feels like a place where you can lose a lot of time. Beautiful replay by Yarda. Sorry if I'm like slaughtering your name. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it if it's something different in Czech. But regardless, beautiful replay by Yarda. Let's move up the list. In 4th place, JT. At a 45 sharp. Now since Slaw is now in SPEF and not in CMR, probably Slaw will be using the same style as JT, but let's check out the replay to know for sure. JT is starting, doing the slow drop as well. Most likely gonna be the same style that Slaw did, so the same style that we've seen most people do. Let's see, does the slow drop here. A little bit faster style here, getting a lot of spinning in and push. Saving a lot of momentum down here actually. That looked like a really fast start. Let's see, coming around here, will it be the wheel pressure? Looks like it. Very nice. See, nobody can really go for a bounce because you would end up too low. So you have to just wheel pressure and gas in the roof. He combines the two. Very nice. Let's see, comes around here. Gonna be the same finish that we've seen everybody else doing. Let's see how he keeps the stick and keeps the grip here. Let's see, just one turn, loses a little bit of grip, but pretty solid. 45 sharp, very nice time by JT. But as we always know, if we see JT Mieltz or Zero in 4th place, that means we have a wild card in the top 3. Who's it gonna be? Let's find out. In 3rd place, Zero with a 43.43. Now here we go. Zero is cutting 1.5 seconds off of JT's time. And while Zero is in the same team as Barry P, can this really be the same style if he's saving almost 3 seconds compared to Barry P? I have no idea, but I really want to find out, so let's check it out. Let's see Zero style. Also a slow drop, so nothing completely crazy, no like right first style here. Let's see, it drops down. Is it the slow drop? It's not. It's gonna be the bounce style. Does that mean he can make it directly up to the top right apple? That should be impossible, but let's see what happens. Let's see, goes for a wheel. Come on. Come on. That's possible to do? What the Is it gonna go for like a dead bounce here? No dead bounce, but wow. I mean, makes sense, makes complete sense, but it's just, it's such a beautiful style, but so technical, like coming in here with a lot of speed and still managing to just grab exactly the right, like push from here, getting a grip here, managing to gas up and then barely getting the wheel up. Look, he's almost falling off here. He's so close to falling off. And it's just like getting that wheel up right by the corner. Really impressive stuff. Nothing else to say. in second place. Raven. Out of nowhere, this old school player who I remember like spying back in the Belma days when he was hoiling slalom together with Bjenn, I don't know, like 10 plus years ago or something. Raven comes in as the wild card for this event, knocks JT down into fourth place, even knocks Zero down into third place actually. And I don't know if he always was in Team 420 and just decided to start now, but we have seen, new players like Barry P as well joining 420. And so far in this cup, we only saw Zero and Ramon from that team. So regardless of how or why, Raven is here and he gets a second place finish in this event. Really fun to see, really impressive time. Let's check out the replay. Probably gonna be Zero style, but even better because he's saving 0.3 of a second. Let's see. Yeah, goes for the slow drop as well. Most likely gonna be the same style as Zero. Nice, gets the spin in here so he can get the push on the underside there. Going for the bounce. It's gonna be the same crazy style, getting right up to the top apple. Getting these two allos here to get a fast push. Managing to start gassing really early here. Let's see, goes for the jump. Oh, with a wheel pressure. Almost a bounce even. Huh. That's really clean. That's really clean. Let's see, comes back here, grabs some speed, grabs that apple. No dead bounce, I guess, but goes for a bounce here on the wall. Comes back, really beautiful replay. That wheel pressure by the right wall. Let's take a quick look at it. Coming in here, going for almost a bounce, but it's just a wheel pressure coming around, getting that wheel up. Gets up with a bigger margin than Zero did because of that wheel pressure. Because I think he gets a little bit more rotation and a little bit more height. You see, he's not almost falling off the corner. He's completely solid up there. Really beautiful run. I guess he saves his 0.3 seconds by that part of the level as well. So really nice replay. But of course, that brings us to who's in first place. Now there is one player that we usually see in like the top 3, top 4 at least, every single event, and we haven't seen him yet. But again, this cup has had some huge upsets, and this event as well. I mean, Raven out of nowhere, who could have suspected that? And the teams completely scrambled. So what does that mean for our first place? Well, in first place, we have Mjelz. We knew he would be there. He's always in the top, but really fun to see Mjelz in first place and JT in fourth, and 420 squeezing in between them. Zero came in at 43.43, Raven came in at 43.12, Mjelz comes in at 42.80. The only player below 43 seconds with a fairly big margin as well. And what's interesting is we saw JT doing the going around style, right? But with Mjelz having this time, he probably goes for the same style as Raven and Zero, but he doesn't share replays with them. So could this be something different? We never know. So without further ado, let's check out Mjelz's winning replay, 42.80. Here's Mjelz, going for the slow drop as well. Is he gonna be going around, or is this gonna be the Zero and Raven style? Let's see. Doesn't go full speed here, but goes for the bounce as well. Gets up here, doesn't do it also, but he gets a good bounce, a lot of speed. Let's see, coming up here, will he go straight up? Goes for a kind of, oof. That looks like an SL replay or something. That looked crazy. He goes for a bounce even, so he should be getting more leftwards momentum, but manages to convert that momentum into upwards as well. Instead, I mean. Let's see, good bounce, comes around here. Full speed to the flower, 42.80. Now that's a beautiful replay. There are a lot of key places to this level. The first one is here. Managing to get the push here without pushing your head into the ground. Managing to get the bike up and get the wheel down. That's hard to do, but he does it really well. And the second place here is the bounce. Now I was doing this kind of bounce first as well with the push, so you get a fast and like ferocious bounce, but then you don't get the allos here to brake and push. So you're kind of getting a faster bounce, but you're getting a slower speed on this polygon. But when doing the style that Zero, Raven and Mjelz did, you don't really need that much speed here, I guess, because the style me and Elrond was doing was going up here on the platform above and keeping a lot of momentum, but here you just want to get up. But let's see, he then comes in here and he even goes for a bounce, which should give him way too much leftwards momentum, but I guess he brakes on the underside of the polygon here to kind of convert that into upwards, and then he gets this beautiful push up here, and then with a big margin gets the wheel up here, comes around, gets the stick here, and then just really nice bounce, a lot of speed as well. And having to turn up before hitting this hang here, he does a little bit, but that just helps him rotate up and gas even sooner. So all in all, just a really beautiful replay by Mielz. And just for good measure, let's do a merge between Mielz's and Raven's replay to see where Mielz managed to save those 0.3 seconds. Now we see Mielz here in front, Raven with the R shirt in the back. Dropping down here, Mielz actually already has a lead with a faster drop. I'm not really sure how he pulled that off, but let's see. Goes for a lower bounce and goes for the more speed here. Raven will catch up because he does the double olo, but let's see who's first to the bounce. Now Mielz is leading by pretty much a bike length. I think his getting up here is faster as well. At least both Raven and Mielz are saving time on 0 here, but let's see what happens after this whole part. Mielz going for the bounce, Raven for the kind of wheel pressure. Let's see, looks actually like Raven catches up a little bit. Or maybe not, because now we can see Mielz again, 1 bike length ahead when they get up to speed. So yeah, maybe it's kind of equal. And then the bounce back here. Let's see, Mielz catches that hang a little bit, maybe loses a little bit of speed, but Raven not able to catch up. Mielz wins event 13 of the Boss Cup. Really beautiful stuff. Really fun to see how we went full circle with the styles as well. In the beginning, we saw the styles of going in here first, grabbing these apples. One person chose to hang up here, another person chose to go low. I think TM did a hang up here, Blastic went low, but then coming around, going all the way up and grabbing the flower. Then we saw mine and Elrond style, which was coming down here, doing the bounce, getting up here, and then doing like back and forth in here, coming around, getting the flower. Then we started seeing what was probably like the main style of the cup, which was going straight down here, grabbing the apple, coming around, going in last, coming around, getting the flower. And then we went kind of full circle where Mielz, Raven, and Zero did this bounce style as well, but instead of doing this whole convoluted loop here, they chose to just push from this corner here, jump straight up to the hang here, and then doing a little bit of a, turn back, but not as big as me and Elrond and a few others did. So just looking at this like spaghetti of roots that you see in front of you, this is what makes Elastomania so amazing, is that everybody can look at a level and see completely different ways of handling it and still getting pretty much similar times. It was just Mielz, Raven, and Zero who did this kind of, 43-ish time. But the rest of us, I mean, from what you can see here, like 4th place to 18th place, it's just a 2.5 second difference for 20 placements basically. And a lot of different styles in between here. So really fun to see, really cool level by Ramon. I'm getting a phone call. And now I can finally read Discord again. Now I was expecting a lot of different save loaded replays and crazy styles this event. But as far as I can tell, there's only one by JT. He did some 41. But it was also interesting to see that Ramon at least said that Zero said, well, he hated the lev, but I guess, we all hate every single lev when we play too much. But he said that the shortcut was by far a lot harder than anything before in the cup. And that's actually pretty nice for me to hear, because me and Elrond were trying that in save load. We couldn't make it, and a lot of people apparently were trying that route in save load. Bjenn was trying it when he was trying out the level for the cup. He couldn't do it. So that really brings home how difficult this shortcut was and how impressive it was that Mielz, Raven, and Zero could pull this style off. But let's check out JT's replay first and then take a look at the standings. Let's see JT's save loaded 41 something time. Same kind of drop. I think this might be the Mielz style, only done perfectly. Actually, it's not. It's a slow drop. Okay, crazy. It's the slow drop, but still going for this style, even with less speed here as well. Let's see. Gets the bounce, gets the turn of momentum upwards, and gets up. I mean, in save load, it looks... When you see it, it doesn't look that hard, but I can imagine just how crazy impossible it was to get up that hang. Oh, and a low bounce as well, not even near the hang. Really beautiful run. But I think the key was here that a lot of players found, but even bouncing here, getting a lot of leftwards momentum, more than you should have because you're going straight up, but then braking on the underside here, as you can see, he's already braking, compressing the bike, and that instead turns it into upwards motion, gives him more rotation for the push that comes here, and then he pushes away from the ground, up, and clears it. Such a crazy style. I can imagine how hard it was to play, but also this is what makes a level really special. When you have a fairly obvious style, but a lot of people just disregard it as impossible, but then a few players are crazy enough to try it, and an even smaller amount are crazy enough to actually pull it off. And if we go to the overall standings, we see We actually see Zero and Miels at identical points. That's amazing. JT also clearing the 1,000 gap. Blastic not dropping as much as we thought he would because he was gonna stop playing. If he keeps playing, I think he will keep this 5th position. But let's see, he's traveling, so might be hard for him. But let's take a quick look also because Zero and Miels are on the exact same points. And if we expand here, we can see their worst placements. Zero's event 7, obviously his worst time, that was his own level, so 0 points there. Otherwise, his worst placement, which is crazy, is a 4th place where he got 70 points. So seeing that the cup has 2 skips, you can deduct 0 and 70 points from Zero's time to get his actual points, which even more crazy brings him to exactly 1,000 points including skips. And then as for Miels's points, we see that Miels's worst placement was, it's like, can this be right? I had to look. His worst placement is a 3rd place. Now he doesn't have as many first places as Zero, I think, but he is so consistent with firsts and seconds and thirds. But he has played every event so far. He has no complete skip. So his worst placement actually is a 3rd place, which is crazy. And then I guess we had to deduct any 2nd place finish as well. So Miels's points with skips is actually 1,070 minus 75, which already brings him to 995, minus 85 as well. So Miels is at 910 points. So there is a 90-point gap between Miels and Zero before the final 2 events. Now, it's a big gap, but at the same time, when you get to these high positions, if Zero can be knocked down a little bit in 1 or 2 events, there is still a big chance for Miels to catch up. And taking a look at JT's times as well, JT had an unfortunate 8th place here. Otherwise, he's solid with like 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, just 1/5 place here as well. But that actually means that, you know, the points we deduce for the skips will be less. So let's see where he ends up. He's at 1,002 points right now, minus his worst place, which is 52, minus his 2nd worst placement, which I believe is this 5th place here, so minus 65, 885. So JT actually, while he's a little bit farther behind Zero than it looks here it looks like he's 70 points behind when he's actually, I guess, 115 points behind, but he's actually very close to Miels. But wait a minute, I just realized, because I remember that one more person in the top 3 had a complete skip, and that player was Miels. I just didn't see it because it was the first event. So let's recalculate Miels's points. Sorry about that. That's crazy. Let's see, Miels was at 1,070, right? So then we have a minus 0 because his worst placement is 0. And then we have, he had a 4th place, right? No, he just had a 3rd place, yeah? Minus 75. Miels is at 995 points. Zero is at 1,000 points. There's a 5-point difference out of 1,000 points. 5 points separate Zero and Miels for winning this cup. That's just insane. 5 points! That's literally the difference between 1st and 2nd place, or 2nd and 3rd, or 3rd or 4th. Like any small thing that can make Miels beat Zero in any of the events to come, unless Zero beats him like by a big margin in one of them. This is completely anyone's game. And remember, we have to take into consideration skips as well when we go further down the list. I will try to compile a better view before the last event, so we actually know the stakes before we enter that final level. But as you can tell, things are really close right now. Really close and really exciting. I can't wait for the last 2 events. The next event by Jonsta is a really beautiful level, but it doesn't seem to maybe have that many styles. I don't know, but let's see. This is the level you can expect for the next recap. It's a really cool level, looks even cooler in game, but yeah, really fun stuff, really exciting. I don't know where this cup is gonna end, but I'm just enjoying the ride. Thanks for watching.